So tonight we got you guys here, and we're going to just talk about that series and what it was and what it's going to be and things of that nature, right?
Yeah, well,
Right.
we're glad to have you, man. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that we can't do, and we're glad that you're stepping up to do this because there's nobody else in the area is doing it, and something that's needed. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everybody will really, really like it.
The marketing thing, I
Right.
talked about that, and when Aaron was up here, we were talking about the industry and local stuff in general, and I just said, there's no marketing for this.
Right.
No one
Right.
markets this sport.
Right.
It has always blown my mind that, every once in a while you'll hear something or see something on a computer, but kind of rare.
And man, we're in a hotbed for racers too. I mean, this area's always had a lot of top riders and racers of all kinds, cars, bikes, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that the one sponsor you guys were talking to, you touched on that, like whether it's sprint cars or dirt bikes or whatever. It seems like
yep.
Northeast Ohio. I don't know about all of Ohio, but I know around here, like I said, my road is like a dirt bike and quad highway.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fast guys that come out of this area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
which
the
is
sport
awesome.
in general has taken a big leap forward this past year, whether it was COVID or not. I mean, you can ask any bike dealership where their numbers are at compared to the past. I mean, it's up there. So it's crazy what's going on right now.
That's true, because I was talking to the guys at Moto Zili, and they said the same thing about especially like mini bikes.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
can't find them.
you can't find them.
Nope.
You can't track them down to sell them. They
Right.
sold every one they had and can't get their hands on more. It's crazy. And new units too. They said they had I was in there when they just had basically all their new bikes set out.
Right.
And it was like a couple weeks later, my buddy was like, yeah, I'm looking to get a new 250 FX. And I was like, all right, I'll call them up and see. They're like, oh no, all those bikes are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Every bike they had in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, our showroom is completely empty right now. I mean, we've got about 6 bikes in there, and we normally at this time are 25 to 30 bikes in the spring. Thank goodness we do have some new stuff going to roll in here soon.
Wow. And that's AES, Action Extreme Sports, right?
Yep. Action Extreme Sports.
And where is that?
We are in New Philadelphia, right off of Interstate 77, exit 81.
I've never been there. I need to make a trip one of these days.
I've been trying to get you to come over there for about 4 or 5 years
I'm
now.
afraid of what will happen.
That's right. Get you back on an orange bike.
Yeah. One of these days, we'll see. But anyway, so the series, it's what, 6 years old? It's going on 7?
Yeah.
This is year 7?
No, we're going into our 6th.
Going into our 6th.
Going into
Right.
6.
Yep.
So yeah, from the beginning, I'll just say what I saw in the series. At first, just like anything, you're just like, oh, kind of roll your eyes, like, who's doing this? What's it about? You don't know. And so I checked it out, and I was like, oh, it's legit. First of all, you just go in, you're like, it's legit. It's a real, series. It's not just a couple kids putting their heads together or whatever. And you could tell it was a real effort, and I was excited about a lot of things. I was excited about the track design. I was excited about how it was labeled. I even talked about the toilet paper and the porta-johns. I remember commenting, saying, like, you go places and people miss out on details. I look at all those little things, and it's just gotten better since then. And I think, every year I would have to imagine you guys have been growing.
Oh yeah, it's growing leaps and bounds. I'm trying to think. Our first round, we might have had 130.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe 130 total.
Total for
and
the
it's
day.
like, oh my gosh, what?
Wow.
Yeah, that
What are we
first
doing
year
here?
was pretty lean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we had a vision, had an idea, and kind of went with it, and we've stayed the course, and just kind of tried to standardize some things with the race itself, and how it's promoted, and how the race day is supposed to go, and And
Right.
lo and
I mean,
behold, it works.
from the beginning, and that just wasn't Tom and I. There was more people involved, and we
Right.
had a lot of help with this. But
Right.
for the collective thought process is we wanted to put on events, not just races. We wanted events. We kind of had a vision where we wanted to go, like Tom said, and we've done little things every year. We always step back and go, man, we can be better at that, and that's what we've done that every year. And I think the riders and the spectators and the fans, they appreciate that because we do try and do little things to help them out, whether it's a schedule, how the day is going to go, or running the same arrows for 6 years now. If you're a peewee rider, you're going to follow blue arrows from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So just little things like that are all part of the plan, and we just kept growing it from there.
Consistency is a big deal. And again, details, arrows being the same color and dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
Yeah.
That's something I noticed. And, we'll just go fast forward up to last year, going into this year. You guys, obviously everything has gotten so much better, and the crowds are huge. Spectators are huge. And what was I going to say? The transponder system you guys bought into, or purchased. I mean, that is giant for this sport.
Well, that was we talked about that all last year. This has been 12 months or more trying to launch this thing, and Tom will tell you, after every race, we're sitting there trying to get the results right before the guys leave the track, and carrying plaques to the next round, and we knew we weren't doing that well enough, and that was something that we had to fix.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on that for quite a while. So we got our fingers crossed. You never know how it's going to go, but what we're moving to is on a national level. I mean, it's the same thing the GNCC is using. So
right.
we're pushing that, and it wasn't cheap to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you get what you pay for too, right?
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Those things, you explained it to me before about how they read. And not that we need to get into the science of it, but basically the performance of this new transponder is like by the 100th or 1,000th of a second or something.
It's why the GNCC uses it. They've got your top pros in the world running that series, and so their races can come down to a split second, and this system will score it at a split second. So.
Split second, or tenths or hundredths,
right.
of a second. And if a guy's coming in, now GNCC, I'm just curious. Is it similar? Where I've done some, but where is as far as where they score the finish? Is it before they actually go through the checkpoint, or is it kind of like the locals where they choke them down and then there's like no passing zone, and it is what it is after that point?
No, they score them at the finish line where it's being scored, and we always set our finish line back, and then we choke them down coming into to the hand scores, and basically that's what the GNCC is doing also.
Yeah.
You come through the finish line, and they stop. They actually stop every rider and write their numbers, and away they go.
But if it's a burner all the way down to the end, wheel to wheel,
they never set it up to where you can have a burner into the check.
That's
right.
Yeah.
There's always a real sharp S turn right there, and
once you get to the orange cones, the racing's over.
It's
no
over.
matter where the reader is, you're going to be same thing as we did in the past. But what we were trying to improve was our ability to record those transponders. And in the past, if two guys came in right at the same time, you could read the guy that was behind. So then we have to go back to the hand sheets. And that's what took so long to calculate results. I mean, people, and I seen it, and we weren't stupid to it, but, people, it was aggravation for the riders because, hey, the race has been over for 45 minutes. Why don't we have results? So that was something that we really wanted to fix, and we hope we're on the right path now.
Yeah, not only like having the results, but the results being correct.
Correct.
And then there's discrepancies which even drag it out even more.
Right.
So it's been 45 minutes or an hour, and then you post results, and then 5 guys are going, no.
That's not right.
That's not right. And then you got to go through it all again.
Right.
Wow.
So this should
Right.
This should just knock it out.
And believe me, it's as aggravating for us as it is the riders, because
Yeah.
we want it correct the first time.
Right.
We want to be able to go, okay, we're done. Let's hit a button. Let's
Sure.
tabulate. Let's let everybody look at it. 30 minutes, protest period. Everything's good. Okay, here's your stuff.
Right.
See you next race. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we want. We got to get there. So we hope we're on the right track right now.
I'm sure it's gonna work out good. And we did some testing on some audio equipment, which I'm excited about. You know,
Yep.
I've always given you guys constructive
Oh, you did.
criticism, and
Right.
in the nicest way I know how. And you know, I love good, clear audio, and you guys stepped up with that too, and bought a nice PA system that's going to be, you know, obviously we tested it, and you're going to be able to hear that from a mile away.
We hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't want any of them fallouts like we had last year. And
Yep.
Jeff's up there talking, nobody can hear a darn thing. So
yeah.
yeah, we think we might have that solved. Let's hope we do.
Those speakers will do the job.
Yeah.
They'll do the job.
Right. And that's important because everybody needs to hear, and we want everybody to know what we're talking about so they can't go, I didn't know that. Well, we talked about it in the riders meeting.
Right.
You know, here it is. Whether it's, you know, make sure you have look down, make sure your transponder's on your bike, those kind of things. And, you know, if you're clearing that back row and what do you say? You know, that's not good for any of us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to the team thing, which I covered that, you know, when Aaron Florek was up here. We were talking about, you know, the conception and how it got started, and you know, there's been a few teams already running in a series. One of them's out of your shop,
right.
and it's not a new idea at all. But the fact that you can use that idea and try to ignite a spark again in these local dealerships and get some local rivalries going. And I just think it's an overall good idea to help build that sport. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, you hit on it right there with the local dealership back in the 80s, early 80s. When I first got involved in this stuff, it seemed like every shop had a couple guys that would show up, you know, and they were riding for that shop.
Right.
And it was just good, friendly competition. And somewhere along the lines, it really got away from that. And
Internet.
yeah, everybody, yeah. And I mean, we talk about everything we're going to do, you know, when it came to the team thing. And I tell you, I remember when it struck a chord with me. We were at Lisbon at the Log Hopper, and I'm riding around on my quad like I always do, just checking stuff out. And here's Beaver Creek Cycle, and they're way down over there, and they've got 8 guys signed up in a race. And it just kind of clicked with me. That's a team. Why aren't we, you know,
Why don't we have an area for them? And
Right.
And get everybody, get the other shops involved with it. And let's
Right, and that goes back to we want to have events, so we want to
Right.
bring that stuff in. You know, we want local dealerships not only for the race side, but for me it's good too because I can get all the kids out there with the AES graphics on them, and they feel like they're part of something, and they look forward to, you know, riding with their buddies, and we all line up underneath the canopy there, you know, and they take pictures of it, and hopefully, you know, most of them guys on our team, a lot of them are younger. Hopefully 20 years from now, they'll run at each other at a bar somewhere and say, hey, remember when we used to race for that
Yeah.
team? You know, those kind of things. We're building those memories. And that helps build EROC.
Yeah. And I think that as basic as it is now, I think there's so much room for growth with the team ideas and how far you could take it, and what, you know, the return you can get out of it. I think that it's possible, and I think that once people realize it is very important to keep these local businesses going. It's very important to spend your money in physical buildings versus ordering online.
Right.
I'm not saying ordering online is you know, a big no.
Right.
Everyone's going to do it. It's the way that we live nowadays, but it's important to keep, you know, that's people's livelihood. That's the way they make money for their family, put food on their table. So,
well, there's some local dealers that you can order online, you know, or even over the phone.
Yeah.
And instead of getting on the computer or on your whatever and ordering from somebody in California or Colorado, you know, if you don't support your local dealers, then one day they might not be there. And,
yeah.
you know,
And
Right.
where are you going to get your bike?
Where you
That's
gonna get
right.
your bike?
Online.
Right.
It's coming to that.
Yeah.
The motorcycle vending machines.
Like Carvana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and it's also important. You know, we've lost touch with being personable and talking and looking each other in the
Yeah,
eye and all that.
yes.
So go into your shop, your local shop, and talk about dirt bikes and hang out
Yep.
and buy a T-shirt or whatever. Just go in there. You know, I miss that stuff. So,
Well, I enjoy that being a dealership owner.
Yeah.
You know, on Saturdays, especially, the guys come in, they're picking up a few things for Sunday, and you just sit back every once in a while and just listen. And you see them all come in, and they're talking about this and the last race and who's going where. And the next
Yeah.
thing you know, there's 4 or 5 of them hanging out, you know, and,
Yep.
and those kind of things. I enjoy that. That's part of the dealership experience that I enjoy, and we like to create that atmosphere.
that's important too.
Yep.
So what else we got? You guys want to talk about a little bit about some past champs or who to look forward to this year, or
Yeah, we can
what's going on with that?
we can touch on them. Yeah.
Last year, well, we got some results in front of us, so I don't know how much we can touch on. This would take a
Right.
long time.
Yeah,
You guys
there's
got a lot of people.
38
Just-
classes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
38 classes, but
Yep.
I mean the fastest guys right on top is the XC Pro guys.
Yeah.
I don't know who's returning this year. I haven't heard a whole bunch, but looks like Mason Atherton won it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a new champion this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Grills, he was second. He was a past champion.
Right.
And Dakota DeVore's now up in the top 3.
Yep.
Right.
And definitely a contender. And I don't know if Mason or Grills, I don't know if they do GNCC, but you guys, none of these races land on the GNCC dates, right?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we got a couple. It's,
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's so hard to schedule. There's so many series going on.
Yeah.
So we are on a couple, but
But these guys could probably still have a fighting chance at a championship.
right. I mean, you may see DeVore miss one here or there, but I know he's going to be at the rest of them. He's pretty
Right.
committed. I mean, he rides out of our shop, and I'm pretty sure from everybody I talked to, Mason's coming back,
Yeah.
and Scott's coming back, and there might be a few other fast local kids we're going to pull over in there. You can see some of the results at some of the other races this year, and I think some of those guys are going to give it a run.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these names, and there were some bloody fast guys. Not that showed up all year, but
Right.
they showed up because you guys are doing some pro purses now.
Yes.
And I mean, you start kicking money, and dudes come out of the woodwork, and that is super cool. Because who else showed up at the golf course?
Oh, well, Thad was there.
Thad Duvall, yeah.
Duvall came and took everybody's money and went home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
he just wasn't it like his second race back after an
Yeah,
injury?
yeah, yeah.
And
The day before, he'd ran a father-son
yeah.
Team
team
race somewhere.
race. Yeah,
I tell you what, man, I was spectating for that pro race, and
Yeah.
I heard that, you know, he's coming off injury and stuff, and he was still so freaking fast.
It shows you the difference in the level. I mean, you
yeah.
see some of our guys, and you go, "Man, are they fast?" And then somebody like Thad shows up, and you're like, "Holy cow, there's a whole nother level." out there.
Yeah,
National pro, local
Right.
pro.
yeah.
Right.
Aaron and I went into depth. You know, we talked a lot about those levels, and it is leaps and bounds from.
Yeah.
And we said like a local A rider like myself off road versus a national A rider like Dakota. He's not
Right.
in pro yet.
No.
He's a national A rider.
Yep.
He's way faster than I am.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And then look at the top 3 pros. They're way faster than him. I can't even fathom that speed. I
Right.
can't even process it in my head. I just go, I'll never get there.
Yeah.
I'm 40.
Right.
I've accepted it.
Coda,
I'll never be that fast.
yeah, Coda's worked hard this winter. He was down south all winter, and he's riding good. I think he's going to compete with him.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Yep. He's going to compete.
Yeah. I mean, with these guys, but I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes.
Right.
Right.
In the
Right.
national series too.
Well, and this has become kind of a measuring stick a little bit. You had
Right.
Jesse Ansley and Liam Draper show up for a couple rounds last year. Those guys are XC two pros, right?
Yes.
And so
Yep.
they're carrying a whole nother level of speed, and you throw Scott in there and Mason against those guys and Coda, and you see what kind of, you can gauge yourself. So it's nice to see that kind of competition pop up, on a local level. We're just this little series in Northeast Ohio, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get these guys from Florida and all over, show up, and hopefully we're gonna have that pro series this year. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit here too, but hopefully with that we're going to see some other ones come through. We've been reaching out to some guys, whether they show up or not. We got our fingers crossed, but we'd like to see some good competition.
Oh yeah, I know a couple that'll probably show up, and I don't want to drop names just in case they don't.
Right.
But
Yep.
but I'm hoping, and even quad guys too.
Right.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of those guys, I think so.
Yeah.
Also,
And I mean, what is it? $2,000 or something this year?
It'll be $1,000 for the bikes and $1,000 for the ATVs,
guaranteed.
per round. The 3 rounds in the summer.
Right.
You got those dates, Jeff?
Yeah, July. Well, first one's going to be June 20th. We'll be over at Area 330.
Right.
And then we're going to be July 11th at Toronto Band Camp, correct?
Right. Yep.
And then the last one's going to be right up there at Pine Lake in August.
Right.
Pine Lake.
Yeah, and each one of those rounds.
As Brad smiles about Pine Lake.
Each one of those.
Because it's such a love-hate track with
Right,
everybody.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yep. But what a beautiful facility,
Beautiful
though,
facility.
man.
It is.
Yeah,
Cow.
great people to work with up there. The
Yep.
people that run the facility are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, parking
Yeah.
is great.
Yep.
They did a great job up there.
No trouble getting in and out, no matter what the weather is. Good place.
I'll plug my buddy Joel Yunkins. I was talking to him earlier on the phone. He runs a training facility, trains professional athletes and a lot of dirt bike guys. But we were talking about tracks and just our flavor, what we like in a track. And it's like, yeah, I didn't care for this, or I really liked that, or whatever. Talking about different series, like sprint enduros versus regular, like hard enduro stuff versus local tracks versus like a GNCC track. And I always think of Pine Lake because half the people absolutely hate it, and half the people love it.
Yep.
But I always liked going, and that's what, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but what I like about EROC is it seems like you just get a little different taste depending on where you're at. Like some tracks are fast, some are a little tight and more single track. And then, Pine Lake's just like a throttle control track. Mm-hmm. It's slick.
Slippery.
It's slippery. Yep. But I like that, it kind of really shows at the end of the year, when you look at your total results, it shows who the most well-rounded riders are. So,
Right.
yeah, that track always cracks me up, man. I love it. I have fun there.
Yeah.
I like that track. But so XC1A, Kevin's back this year. That's your son.
Yeah.
Kevin Coffey. He won the class last year.
Didn't win the championship, though.
Didn't win the overall points. Jake Logan.
Mr. Consistency there.
Mr. Consistency, Jake Logan on Team Moto Zealy this
That's
year.
right. Yep.
Yeah, Jake's a good friend of mine.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, real great guy. And Brad Vincent was third that last year.
Yeah.
I came fourth. Robbie Risen in fifth. I mean, these names, and like Kyle Struble didn't finish out the year.
No.
I don't think he rides that much, but that kid flies.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome. Great guy too.
Yep.
But I'm looking at these names. There's so many fast dudes in
I
this
know.
series.
The competition is crazy. It
is.
Local wise, you better strap it on because it's not going to be an easy day. I mean, somebody's going to push you the whole time.
Yeah, you take the top 20, 25 overall last year, those top 25 guys, not just XCA or XC1A, but top 25, and that's your open class, some of your vet riders and whatever. Man, I'd load them up in a truck anywhere and take them.
Oh yeah, and compete.
Compete
Right.
with them. Yep.
Oh, no doubt.
Yep.
There are some. I try, I don't train a whole lot or anything like that, but I give it a go. I give it my best shot, and man, like winning used to be easy. It did. It was back a long time ago, but I'm racing with these guys, and I described it like this at EROC. Like, you go and do some other local series, and it's great and fun and everything, and you kind of look down the line, you're like, there's about a couple dudes that I'm going to bang bars with. But you're on the line in EROC, and you look down the line, and you go, every one of these guys is capable of beating me.
Right.
It's not. There's no part of your day that you can just go, I'm going to cruise.
Right.
Because if you cruise for 10 seconds,
somebody will pass you.
You got to push the whole time.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the difference in tracks that we have. Pine Lake might suit you, but the guy beside you that beat you last week hates it there. But he's going because of the series is there, and he's going to give it everything he has. But it's just not his track. So we kind of like that. I mean, we get that every once in a while. Somebody will come up right after a race and say, "Man, that track, I hated it." But then 10 other guys said that was the best track you guys had all year.
You're never going to please
everybody. We had that everywhere last year. So we kind of know we're doing our job then a little bit by switching it up and keeping everybody on their toes.
Yeah. Who else we got? So
get over to them ATV guys there a little bit, man. We had some stout riders in that too.
I think that's back here. Yep, adult quad. So I don't know a lot of these guys. I probably know some of them, but XC Pro, Nick Davidson.
Right. I think he's a two-time champ.
Two-time champ.
Yeah.
Nick.
He's been a consistent runner at our events probably since about the second year.
He's two-time EROC champ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pro champ. Yep. And BNR, he rides out of BNR Motorsports over there in can't think of the name of town anyways, but it's just over here on the state line.
It was in North Lima. I think they moved. That's it. Okay, they're still in that town though.
Yep.
I know it's a different building than where they used to be, but I mean, Johnny Gallagher's in here.
Yeah.
Cole Richardson's in here.
Right.
These guys just popped in when they could.
Right.
But
I forget. I think it was the Western Reserve round is when we had Gallagher, we had Cole. I want to think is Walker on that list anywhere?
No.
That might have been
Not last
He's been
year.
in our round a
Might have
few
been the year
races in the
before.
past.
Yeah.
I don't think he made any last year, but I know
Yeah.
in the past he usually shows up at Crow Canyon. And
Yeah. And I looked down that line that day and I'm like, holy cow, look at that. Man, that's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
that's crazy.
But Nick Mastrangelo,
Yes. Yeah, Nick's a good dude too, man.
Jeremy Ladone.
Yep,
Ladone.
Pennsylvania guy.
Those are the top three. Cody Forrester fourth.
Oh, he's a young kid, man. Young Pennsylvania kid, fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honda.
Yeah.
Josh Merritt in fifth.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows Josh.
And Josh Merritt, the two races, he only showed up for 2 rounds and he won both of them.
Yeah,
Right.
national number 8 this year. In the
Right.
ATVs.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the competition's there too. Now it's not only bikes, but we're getting some top guys in the quads also.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. Unfortunately, most of the time we have other things we got to do and we have to leave. But there's been some rounds I've stuck around and watched the quads.
Right.
I hope more. I hope, because Ken Blankstein's on our team this year. He's a local guy, getting back into racing, and he's an ATV. We want to be there to support him, so I'm hoping we can hang out, and get some more of this action this year. XC1A, Dylan Judy.
Yep.
He's the winner. Yamaha guy.
Yep.
Adam Brockway in second.
Yeah.
Tyler Van Lock or Luke.
Adam's like a
Something like
second generation racer. His dad, knew his dad back in the day. Dad's racing cars now with his younger brother or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Up there. Yeah, they live up in Ashtabula area.
Got to race something.
Yep. Yep.
I'll race you on foot. Somebody wants to race. I love just racing.
But yeah, that Dylan, Judy, and Adam, they've been consistent runners of ours for the last few years here, and they're both up in the front there the whole time. The one that was most impressive last year was our overall champion, amateur champion in the ATVs was Jessica Elioff. In a matter of about 3 years, she's a BNR rider also. In a matter of, I think about 2 or 3 years, she's gone from a C rider to winning the Florida National GNCC this year in the pro class.
Yeah, it was like you blinked your eyes. She was a C rider, and then all of a sudden she's
Right.
Yeah, all the guys were
Wow.
chasing her. They couldn't keep
Right.
up with her. It's
Yeah.
crazy. She's done really well.
And she's racing what class in the GNCC?
The women's pro.
Women's pro.
Yeah, she
Right.
won the Florida round.
Wow.
Yep.
Ryan Smith's on here. He's the owner of BNR,
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
and it looks like he was only able to make one, but he got first.
Right.
XC1A. Impressive, Ryan.
Yep.
Good job. Yeah, I think I said Steve Steven Barchok in 4th, Shane Soderstrom,
Yep.
5th place.
Shane's actually a
sponsor,
sponsor.
yeah.
Sponsor. Yep.
What's his business?
SSR powder coating.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you see a quad on the line, it's got a powder coated frame. Shane probably did it.
Nice. Nice. Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. All the way down to the little guys.
Yeah.
We could sit here and talk for hours.
I know.
On these guys, man.
Yep.
And
You said like 30 some classes?
37 or 38 this year or something like that.
Wow.
We added what, a 50
We had
A,
a couple of the vet quad riders wanted a 50.
a plus 50
Plus
class.
50 for the
Yeah.
quads, and then last year we added the 50A class for the bikes.
Right.
So every year we kind of tweak something to get what we need.
And I tell you, if you've been around the sport for a number of years, that 50A class we added this year was John Vincent, Tom Darby, Rich Burbick.
Those guys are all good.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm forgetting some, but there
Yeah.
were like 5 guys, and it was like, holy crap, man!
Yeah.
How can you compete with those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fast.
They've been doing it for a long
They've
time.
been fast. They've seen every kind of dirt and route you can imagine, or rock, and they just
Yeah.
they get it done.
I've said that Vincent, John's like the same speed no matter what surface he's on.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's nasty and muddy, he's going to be just as fast as on a dry day. He's real consistent. Good, great rider.
Yep.
Well-
and over 50 years old.
Just a side story on him. I was going through some stuff and I seen some results from Blackwater.
Oh,
There he was in the top 10 of Blackwater. I'm like, is that the same? Tom's like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, those guys have been doing it forever.
Long time.
Yep.
And that was
Yep.
when did Blackwater come out?
Man.
First
In the
year.
80s. In the 80s.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
was it early? It was early 80s, wasn't it? Or mid?
I would say mid.
Because they had 3-wheelers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So
But the
3-wheelers ended in 86.
Yeah, but the
That
three.
was 85 was the last year. I think.
Yeah, 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers competed in the same classes and stuff. It was,
Right.
it was ATVs. So
It was just
yeah, insane.
chaos.
Yeah.
Blackwater. I remember watching the videos. Like, I remember the way they looked. It was just crazy. Like the water crossings, trying to get out of there.
Right.
There was so much 2-stroke smoke you couldn't even like see through the whole picture.
Right.
Completely. And there's that stuff on YouTube. I'll go back. I watch vintage videos all the time.
I
That
was
stuff.
lucky enough to go down there for 2 years.
Oh.
I didn't ride it, but I did go.
Man.
Went with a couple guys that were riding and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's pretty. It was a wild time, man.
My buddy Joel, his dad Gary Youngkins,
Yeah.
Frank Gallo.
Yeah.
Frank.
Those guys
Yep.
were some
Yeah.
Blackwater guys.
Right. Yep.
Both of those guys did they've got quite the resume.
Right.
Impressive. They were both just at the practice. We just went and did a CRA race to get some practice in. I saw both of those guys there, and
Right.
I love talking to them.
Oh, back in the day, you'd go to well, the turkey run was where you guys raced Sunday. The turkey run down there was like going to a national. I mean, you'd have Hyde, you'd have Terry Cunningham, and the Lowjacks would come over from Pennsylvania, and Rod Bush, KTM, and just a whole slew of them. Freddie Andrews.
Yeah.
Freddie was the youngest guy there, but he went home with a live turkey a couple times as a trophy. That's probably the one running around your neighbor's yard.
Yeah, I heard coming in here. Like,
He
"There's
threw it out
turkeys."
on the way home or something.
And this year you guys, let's check somebody's got a buzzing cable, I think.
Might be me again. Are we going?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal is. I gotta get a new cable there. But you guys got some new spots, new property.
Right.
One's pretty big, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, Area 330. Some of the old motocross guys would probably be familiar with that. His property's changed a little bit, and he's added some property. So we're going to have close to 400 acres over there, I believe. A nice, big, fresh parking lot they're putting in for us. We're going to run 2 rounds over there. Our first Pro Series race will be there, and then we're going to finish up the season there.
Is that where is Area 330?
Just outside of Carrollton.
Right.
Just on Chase Road is the entrance we're going to come in. Right outside of Carrollton there, not far.
So good elevation change and
Oh yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
stuff like that.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'd venture to say that track will probably be 80 to 90% new trail.
Yeah, or trail that's grown over so
Right.
much that you couldn't tell what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we got a lot of work to do in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know what, dirt bike guys,
Yeah.
when they hear a new track opens,
Yeah.
they can't wait to put knobbies on it because there's just nothing like riding Virgin
Right.
track. It's so good. There's so much traction, and you could just do so much more on the bike.
Right.
So I bet that's a huge round. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got three new places on the schedule. Three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to be we're going to be at 330 twice, and
Right.
we're going to be at a band camp. So we want to thank our buddy Alan for helping us out there. We found this place. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to have all kinds of terrain, some flat stuff, a lot of hill. It's a very interesting place. It's a facility that gets used once a year for a high school band camp. There's actually a football field there with goalposts and everything that they do their marching and stuff on. We aren't going to be able to park on that.
We got to stay off
We
that.
got to stay off the football field, but there's going to be plenty of room there. Yellow Creek runs right through there
Nice.
with a very hard bottom, and we're going to be able to cross that, we hope, and do a couple things with the creek. And
Sweet.
it's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, elevation change. It's going to, like you said, rock and roots, and
Yeah.
it'll be cool.
Right.
We're pretty
Yeah.
excited about that place.
I think a lot of people like that too. Like Crow Canyon. Up here it's not as hilly.
Right.
You go about 30, 45 minutes south of here, it starts getting better.
Yeah.
But down Crow Canyon, that's almost that's an hour 40 minutes I think from
Yeah.
here. But I like that place because it's and especially early in the year, it's got enough runoff that it doesn't get soupy and bottomless.
It gets slippery though.
It
yeah.
does.
It's
I've
slippery.
I've been there
It'll
for
be
some
slick.
mutters,
Yep.
and where it was still wet enough to be a mutter.
Yep.
But if it wasn't, if you didn't have the elevation, it would have been
Right.
horrible.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been terrible.
Yeah.
But I love that place too. That's round one.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
round one.
Jeff's been
Couple
around that-
weeks.
Jeff's been around that property for over 20 years now, probably.
Close.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when it comes time to lay out a track for early spring or whatever,
Well, we've been working on it.
Yep.
We're staying on. We don't know what the weather's going to be like in a couple weeks yet, so we're staying on the high ground right now and trying to avoid what we know is going to be a mess, and try and get a nice long loop put in for that first one, and kick things off right.
and we always try to dig up some trail that hasn't been used in 10 years and
Stuff like
it's
that.
in there. It's in there.
Yep.
You just got to look for it. And
Yeah.
every now and then we find a little piece of ground that has never been ridden on in there and throw it into.
Yeah. And it's once you go to these tracks a few times, I'm bad about memorizing tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well-
Terrible about paying attention, but you start to learn kind of the lay of the land.
Mm-hmm.
You just go, okay, like I know that this ends up going into this area and it ends up going into this area. So I think returning to places, like last weekend, Big Valley, they've been racing there forever.
Yep, long time.
Cool
Such a long
place
time.
though, man.
Yeah, so you kind of know as you're going through the track, kind of where it is going to lead, even though if you might use a new trail or something.
Right.
But yeah, crows, and I like the jumps. So if you guys,
Also, you want to put a few jumps in there? Is that what
hey,
you're asking?
and why not? You want to add some mileage? You don't got to run the whole thing, but maybe just a couple.
Maybe just the uphill triple.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a safe jump.
Yeah, you can overshoot it and still
Right.
survive.
Yeah. I cringe sometimes watching people go off the finish line jumping stuff up there because, man, if you're just not right on it, you're
Yeah.
off of it.
Right.
Now, isn't there a new title sponsor this year?
Oh yeah, Wassner Pistons.
Wasner stepped up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great company. I mean, there's so many companies in this area, Northeast Ohio, that works with the motorcycle industry and stuff. And we worked with Wassner last year, and it was great. And they came to us this year, and we talked for a little bit, and they stepped up and they're title sponsor. I mean, we're happy to have them.
Yeah.
And
I talked to Ralph, and
Yeah.
he jumped on board for
for
my team too,
Right.
for
Yeah.
helping us out.
Yeah, he's
Like,
helping a lot of people out,
Oh.
especially in our series. I mean, there's a lot of guys
Right.
getting a lot of help from Ralph up there, and
yeah.
it's awesome to see that because, like Tom said, I don't think people understand how many motorcycle or power sports related industry people there are right here in this little pocket. I mean, you get up in there by Wassner, and we've got some other connections up there with some other sponsors too that it's going on, and they're all right there.
Yeah, I mean, Grape up there, Advanced Sleeve, Cometic. I mean, the list would probably go on, and not even there. I mean, just the state of Ohio.
Right. And you got Kenda.
Another new sponsor. Yeah, Kenda. Yep, Kenda's coming on board.
Kenda come on board this year with us.
Yeah.
And
let the cat out of the bag here that every champion this year, from little guys right on up to the adults, getting a free set of tires.
Bikes and quads.
Wow.
2 tires for each winner.
Wow.
Yep.
30. So that's what?
38 class.
That's 74 tires.
Yeah.
Wait, if it's a quad, do they get 4?
Two
No, they get
rears.
two.
Two
rear
rears.
tires.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Still a lot of tires.
That's a lot of tires.
Yep.
That's awesome. Good on those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I know we talk a lot, but I know that you guys said quite a few people are just interested and they want to grow with EROC and have their name, in the hat.
Yeah, as you've seen the last couple of weeks, we've been putting out a lot of posts on our sponsors. We try to recognize each one of them individually, and I've got a few more to go, but we're getting there. We'll have them probably done by the end of the week, or today is Thursday, so maybe by the weekend they'll be done. And,
Today's Friday.
Today's Friday. Tom's
it is Friday. I'm a day
Hey,
behind.
you can tell he's
okay.
retired.
Hey, he's
Yeah.
old too.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know what day of the week it is anymore.
Man, you guys knows.
I don't wake up to my alarm clock anymore either.
That's
so.
awesome.
But yeah,
great.
just people, sponsors from don't even have anything to do with the industry, but they're racers, and they just want to be on board, and they help us out a little bit with some product and so on, and some gas cards and stuff like that, and yeah, it all helps, and glad to have them.
Yeah, I know. I saw one that you guys posted. Scheckler Excavating.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you said.
we got to
Go
talk
ahead,
about
Jeff.
David. David's a great guy.
Oh.
If you don't know David Scheckler, you should go find him and meet him, because he's just a good guy to be friends with. And he's a great customer of ours at Action Extreme Sports. Mm-hmm. But David, this is something else we're going to talk about. We haven't really talked a whole lot about yet. David has 2 young boys, and as you know, most of the motorcycle dealerships now are selling Stasic bicycles or powered electric bicycles. And David called me one day and he said, "Hey, did you guys ever think about racing Stasics?" And I said, "Yeah, but man, we're just, we don't have the time." I said, "You want to do it?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So David's taking it upon himself, and we're going to have the Scheckler Cup at all the events. And he's actually had some of his team build some obstacles. We got some rollers and a couple of jumps made out of wood and everything
Yeah.
that he's going to bring to every round. We're going to set up a little track. We're going to have a couple of classes. We're going to sign all the kids up. We're make sure everybody gets an award for riding. It's not going to cost them anything. So any of the kids that have their Stasics, bring them with you, because we're going to let you run on a little track.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I saw. I don't remember when that was. A week or 2 ago. I saw a picture. Maybe you sent it to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Picture of the little rollers,
Rollers
little wooden
and
rollers. That's
wooden
awesome.
jump and
it's
all
like
kinds
a
of stuff.
portable track.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
set it up and
We're going to move it around with us, and
hopefully
I
get my
think
daughter.
kids will have a blast. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My daughter's been saying, she wants to race, and here's the thing though, she's a very sore loser.
Oh, well, she gets that from her dad.
Yeah.
We've seen you in action.
Yeah. No, I definitely can get hot headed on the track, and I always apologize if I do something stupid. But as far as losing, man, hey, if I get my butt kicked, it is what it is, And I raced XC1A last year, knowing, I just wanted to ride with the fastest guys and bang bars with those guys, and never did I think I was going to go out there and wax them all, and I was fine with it. But I'll tell you, it is awesome to be able to still go out there and run with them.
Yeah, finishing top 5 and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm hoping, stepping back this year for the team.
You're not
And-
stepping back if you're going to vet 30 or 40. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
No.
that class might be faster. I'm not
No,
sure.
yeah, no, I don't mean talent-wise. I don't want to misspeak.
Right.
I don't want anyone to think I was knocking any of the talent. I just mean stepping back. I imagined it when I said that as like going back
Right.
in rows.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
normally they start pro and then XC. Well,
Yeah.
are you guys? You're doing
We did a
every.
rotation.
We did a rotation.
The pro will always start first, but last
Right.
year we took those top 3A classes because some of them came to us and said, "Hey, did you ever think about doing this?" And again, we never thought of it, and so we took the input, we talked about it, and we said, "Yeah, let's do it for the rest of the season." So we rotated those top 3A classes to give those guys a fair shot,
Right.
to try and get that overall
So,
that day.
so in A classes you have XC1A, XC2A, right?
Yep.
And then we rotated the
Plus 30A.
the 30A. in there.
38.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
those three.
Those 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so
And sometimes I think I think sometimes I think were we combining vet 40?
We
and
were
30?
combined vet 40A
Yep.
and vet 50.
Oh,
that was
okay.
one row.
Okay.
So they were the next row back.
okay, so this year if I'm running plus 40,
Right.
so this year I'd be probably consistently fifth row or
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth
So
amateur
fourth,
roll.
fifth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, fourth amateur row, fifth row back. So,
Yeah.
that's good too because, you want it to be so that you're not running into traffic immediately,
Right.
and all the guys in front of us are all blazing fast. So I've been in those situations where like other series run it a little differently. You might start in like the sixth row or whatever, and then you might just be working through traffic on lap one, and
Right.
and it can get aggravating.
Yeah.
There's like instant bottlenecks with some,
Yeah.
So if the talent kind of goes off in the right order, it makes things so much smoother.
Yeah, we had one race last year that had a bottleneck in it pretty good, Battlesburg,
Right.
a little hill, and Chuck and I were back there half the morning helping guys up and down the hill. But it was pretty cool to watch those A classes and then some B classes come through there, and it wasn't only the C guys that were hemmed up on the hill either. I've seen a lot of people struggle on it, and boy, they sure get creative with some lines up those
Oh my
things,
God!
man.
Is that the one? I'm trying to remember. I do remember a bottleneck, a pretty good bottleneck
Yeah.
at the one round,
That
and it was like you were going, and the hill was on your left.
That was it.
Yep.
That had to be Battlesburg.
Yep.
And then when
Yeah.
you get to the top, you kind of had to run the ridge for a
Yep.
second and then
Yep.
make a right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That was
So
it.
that was a heck of a bottleneck,
Yeah.
and there was
Yeah.
some creative lines.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
a dude, I don't know who he was, but as far as technical riding, like hard enduro type stuff,
Yeah.
I saw him take a line, and I went,
No thanks.
Might have been Quinn Dickey.
Yeah, could have been.
He did, whoever it was, did a great job
Yeah.
and made it look easy, but I was like, it was. I did my whole risk assessment, and I said, no,
Right.
I'm gonna go further, and I'm gonna find
Right.
something that's more suited.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like right away he had to go up over something real nasty, and
Right.
man, he did a great job.
Uh-huh.
I wish I knew his name. I wish
Yeah.
I knew who it was. But
We went and laid that track out just about the whole thing, and then one day Jeff shows up there. We all went over together, and he says, "I had an idea last night." I said, "Tell me you want to run it the other way." And he said, "It is.
Yeah.
I do. I want
I
to run
said,
it the other
we're
way."
going the wrong way.
So
we
we-
got to run this track.
So we turned it the
we
other
turned,
way.
Yeah, we were about 5 days out, and we turned the whole track around.
And,
wow,
and
you already had it labeled.
yeah,
Partially.
partially. And
Yeah.
if you remember that track, there was I think we only ran the bikes down it, the big bikes down it.
Yeah, the quad. We took the quads around it. But
Right.
There was a pretty good double downhill.
Double downhill,
And you
and
made
then
it right.
you
up,
rode
went
up
this valley.
rode up to a ravine, a valley like.
Double, like you jumped it.
No.
No,
You
it
went
went
down.
went-
You come up over top of a hill, went through some pine trees, and then you dropped down over a hill and come over a flat area, and then you went down another hill. And
Yeah.
you made it right.
Pretty good downhill. Well, that was going to be an uphill.
Yeah,
And
at first
after seeing the log jam we had on the one hill,
Yeah.
good thing we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember
Yeah.
that hill. I'll have to
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And then you guys did the Moto XC there. That was Battlesburg, right?
That was a year before.
The year before.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
2
we
years
had,
ago.
We had about a Moto XC there. And then
Yeah.
the next year we had the hair scramble there because that's what started the whole. I kept riding around there and we were doing that Moto XC. I'm thinking, man, there's enough here we can do a hair scramble. And
Yeah.
the parking there was phenomenal. So
Yeah, that's a cool. I never even knew of that. But again, that's more like a moto place, right?
Yeah, but they've been, since we had the air scramble there, they had somebody in there now, and he's open for practice. So if you want to go down there and ride,
Right.
we're always trying to help out the the tracks that help us.
Yeah.
Go down there and see Steve and those guys, because they have a woods loop now.
Yeah.
Arrowed out that you can go out down there if you want to beat in some laps and get some practice in. You can go down there. I think it's $20 for the day. You can ride there now.
Yeah, that was a cool spot. There's quite a few spots. Like I never did moto. I've never raced a motocross race in my life, like an actual moto race. So I got to see some of these tracks, like Malvern.
Yeah.
When I pulled in the first time there, I was
place
like,
is crazy. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
oh, I was freaking out. I'm
Yeah.
like, this track looks so dope.
Yeah.
It's got that one real big. It looks big, but like when you jump it, it's really not.
the
It's
uphill.
just so much dirt. And
Right.
like you see, it's like a huge.
Right.
Yeah. It looks like
Yeah.
stuff you'd see in a national moto track or national moto.
We just wish Bobby had like another 100 acres of woods down there.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we used to run hair scrambles there.
You cross the road.
Across the road and went
Right.
back up through there. There were some coal pits, but properties have changed hands over the years, and just can't. There's not enough there to do anything with. So
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the pro days, just so everybody
Okay.
understands.
Right.
Okay.
So the pro days, and we want to thank BNR and Wassner for making those possible, because that's really the
Right.
sponsors. When they came on board, then we were like, hey, we can take some of this and their sponsorship, and we can make these pro days. And the pro days are for everybody. That's a little series that falls in the summertime, mainly when the GNCC's in break, and we're hoping to get some of those, GNCC guys in those XC3 and XC2 classes, like Liam Draper and Jesse Ansley did last year, is jump over, run them pro days. They're for everybody. We're running the regular, same old race schedule. We just have a guaranteed pro purse for those pro days. So guaranteed $1,000 for bikes, guaranteed $1,000 for ATV. The winner of that class is going to take home no less than $600. It may end up being more depending on what happens between now and those races, but it'd make a nice little payday for somebody.
Yeah.
But we just want to make that clear. If we had a couple questions like, hey, these pro days not count, or do we run in the other classes? We just want everybody to know that yes, we are running the full slate of that. That's just our little pro series in the center of our series.
And that's not a points thing, right? It's just a cash.
Just
those
a cash thing.
races.
There's no extra points for anything, no gimmicks, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that day. If you're a fan and you want to come out and see some good racing, we hope that we're gonna, not only Coda be there and Scott and Mason. We're hoping. We've reached out to some guys, and I can't say who at this point because nobody's committed, but
Right.
they know what's going to be available, and they could go home with some nice cash.
And typically in a money class, they call it money or pro,
Right.
Depending on the series. But in a money class or pro class, it's a little more to sign up, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's $50 sign up fee on those classes.
Okay. So yeah, and like you said, I think like if the turnout's real big or something, there's more cash, or I don't know how that all works, but
Well, we've got the guaranteed pro purse plus the sign up goes back in at 150%. So they're going to get 100% of their sign up back, plus EROC's kicking another 50% back on top of that.
right. That's
So-
what I was trying to
Right.
get to. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So there's potential to make some some
There
good
could
coin
be some good money there.
for winning a race.
Yeah, you could go home and.
Yeah, what Dad go home with it? The golf
Oh, he
course
went home
later.
with $800.
right.
I mean,
45-minute race.
at the last minute, we had Daryl threw in another $100 or something like that for the whole shot, and Thad
Right.
got the whole shot and got the money, so
Doesn't
he
win
went
the
home
race.
with $800 cash that day.
Yeah, we had
You know,
a
that's-
we had a
that's-
pro purse at that race too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever get one of those, Brad?
Yeah. No. No.
Me either.
Yeah, me
No,
neither.
I was just imagining that those guys.
Right.
Man, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be. I'm serious. I can't explain it to people enough. Like the level these guys are riding
know.
at. Like the top guys.
Yeah.
And just motocross, supercross,
Oh yeah.
hair scrambles, the top level of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, I want to be a pro this or a pro that. Dude, you first of all have to be born with some skill.
Right.
You gotta have some sort of DNA that's gonna help you out.
Right.
And then you got to put in crazy amount of work.
You got to love it. I mean,
Yeah,
you
and you
can't,
do.
it's more than I could ever do. Because I mean, I love what we do, and I love riding a motorcycle. But I can't imagine if it was my job how I would stay motivated to get better every day to get to that level. I mean, those guys that are trying to do that, it's just it's unreal how they do it.
I think at that age, testosterone helps a lot. Ego.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it.
Right.
That's what, we're all peacocking. We're walking around with our chest out and, at a young age, not now.
Right.
I'm just like,
We're just happy to walk.
during the race, I swear during the race, last couple, like heading towards the end, I start thinking about drinking a cold beer. That's what gets me
That's what makes you
to the
finish.
finish line. I'm like, I got that beer on ice. And
Allison's standing there going like this.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
2 more laps.
You can do it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah.
I'm real excited. Now, everything is so messed up with stinking COVID. With like FXR is a sponsor of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting on gear, and I have my fingers crossed. We still don't have gear,
Right.
and they're communicating with us, just saying like we're trying extremely hard.
Right.
It's an industry wide problem.
Yeah.
I can tell you from being in a dealership situation that it's tough. Tires, rubber is getting hard to get. I mean, tires, inner tubes. 1 week it's brake pads, the next week it's something else, and it's in gear. I mean, it's no different. You look in the warehouses where they used to be full and we could pick from anything. Boots, you can't find boots. Helmets, it's tough right now. It's very tough.
Horrible. Hopefully something changes soon.
Right.
I mean, I know it seems that our economy is. I don't know. I don't know where our economy is, but as far as my job, I gauge things on my job. We're getting busier at work.
Right.
It seems like some of these states are starting to loosen up, and I'm just hoping that things start to turn around, and we can get back to normal.
Right.
Because it's been, so many awesome things are happening, but then we're kind of like held back a little bit.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, last year we were this close to not even having a season.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were getting
we
ready.
did call
we
it
had
one.
the letter written that
Yeah.
we were going to post. Hey, we're gonna
Yep.
we're not gonna run this year because, and then all of a sudden the governor changed a few rules and things, and we said, okay, now we can do it.
Right.
And we were
Oh yeah.
we actually were getting ready to cancel the insurance and everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was
I remember
we were
that.
that close.
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah. Hopefully this year's a lot better as far as getting things back to normal.
Right. Well, we'll still do like we did last year. All the signage will be up for the race safe and all that. You wear your mask when you should, and social distance and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff will still be in place, but we're racers. We're gonna get at it.
It's all blue collar people,
We're gonna
man.
Get at it here
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that anybody that's at these races, I don't think they're slowed down by much.
No.
They're hardworking blue collar people that will do anything to unwind and have a good time on the
Right.
weekend, and all these people, it's their dirt bikes that gives them that good time and that release. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm nervously anxious, man. So, I don't know what to be right now.
I think turnout's going to be awesome. I said 261 bikes opening round.
That's your guess?
Tom, I don't know if you told Jeff. I said you got to throw 5 in. Everybody, tell the whole EROC crew it's a $5 bet.
Oh,
Closest to the number wins.
For big bikes?
261. That's the official number, huh?
2 big bikes, yeah.
Big bikes.
261 big bikes first round.
okay.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be stuffed, parking wise and everything.
Crow can handle that.
Yeah, the good thing about Hare Scramble, I mean, you have crowds. The little guys be in there in the morning. Some of them hang out, but a lot of them go home. So, we shuffle around and we make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll do what we have to do to get them in and get them out and so on and so forth. So, hopefully, I got my fingers crossed. We got some weather and we get good weather leading up to it. So we got a few good dry days, and I'd love to have just a nice, solid, long track for that first round and get everybody back.
Yep.
And I think everybody's been riding and catching a race here or there, and
Right.
and things like that. So we're the closer we get now, the more people are calling or sending messages, and so it's starting to ramp up.
Yep. And I tell you, a lot of guys have been working hard this winter. I've been to every GNCC except for Florida, and man, see a lot of our guys down there. Rich Burbick, Anthony's been down there running GNCC.
Oh, yeah.
3 hour.
Oh,
So-
man.
There you go.
Rich ran a couple
Yeah.
of them. Yep. And
These
you
guys, these overachievers. I'll
Yeah,
tell you what.
and you see the ATV crowd. I talked to a lot of those guys down there. Eric McClish and his kids. I think he's got about 6 kids on quads or something like that, and they're all doing good. The one daughter, I think she won. She was in the top. I can't say for sure, but I think she was in the top 10 overall in that morning class and won her class. And she's a 16-year-old kid that's just flying on a quad right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I have a couple friends that race other series, quads and dirt bikes and stuff. So I've been saying, like, you got to come try it out. And then at the same time, some other people were aware, and just flat out said, like, I want to get better first, because I don't want to just go there and get housed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a few of my friends that talked about racing, I'm like, you're a top 20 this series type guy. You might be top 30 or top 40, in EROC.
Yeah. We talked about that on the way up.
Yeah.
About the competition, and it isn't something we set out to do. It's just something that has happened, and man, it's cool.
Well, and I hope that's a reflection
Right.
of what we're doing.
Right.
Is that we're drawing. I mean, like you said, you line up and you better be ready, because
Yeah.
there's all the way down. There is no slouches in any of those classes. I mean, anybody can win.
Yeah. And it's another thing that's great as a racer when you have good talent like that is most of the people are seasoned. That's why the speed is there and the talent's there. So, like, they have race etiquette. They understand what's safe. They understand what to do in certain situations. And sometimes you go and race other places, or if you just when there's beginners or people that are inexperienced, sometimes they're dangerous. For the faster guys, they think they're doing the right thing, and they hear a bike coming and they'll jam on their brakes,
Right.
and then all of a sudden there's there's the guy behind them stuffed up their fender, or
Right.
but when you're riding with a lot of guys that are seasoned like that, it just seems like things go better, and even the like C riders, because the C riders are pretty dang good riders,
Right.
There's some good riders in there.
yeah. I
Right.
mean,
Yep, and we have the people that we have the guys that just first time racers and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Right, yeah, and we hope we can help,
Yeah.
with the riders' meetings and the signs we put up, and
Yep.
and the other riders. And that's something I want to say too. I mean, I've been promoting races. Started out promoting motocross. Actually, started out promoting hare scrambles in the old District 12 days. Moved over to motocross and got out of it for a little bit. Come back to this, and I want to give a shout out to all the EROC fans, riders, people. We have an awesome group. I mean, very seldom do we have somebody that comes up and is, they want to tear your head off or something like that or anything like that. We try and say, you know what, we'll talk to anybody. I'm not going to have a screaming match with anybody, but we want to talk to everybody. We want your input, and we'll listen to it. We'll filter it out. We'll and we'll say, you know what, this guy's got a good idea, and the people have been awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got people coming over from Pennsylvania, from West Virginia, from Indiana over and riding, and it seems like just the fans in general and the riders and the support for the program has been phenomenal. It's been
Yeah.
a really, I guess you can use the word family. The EROC family has been
Right.
just phenomenal, because all the people, I can't think of one bad, thing we've had in the entire time we've been doing this. It's all been positive.
Right.
And we feed off of that too, and we want to give that back, and we try and do that with our track layouts, with our organization, with the respect to the fans, the riders, the families that come, and
The
those
experience.
the experience,
Right. Yeah.
and that's all part of it. And we keep working at that all the time and trying to make that better.
Right.
Yeah, and it has been. I mean, I tell you guys all the time, it's awesome.
Well, last year our bike count, our total rider count went up per round a little bit, but we really noticed the increase with the fans.
Right.
At the gate.
The gate.
Yeah, the gate
Yep.
really jumped, and that's fans. That's people coming out just for something to do on
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, watch some racing, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, man, they're sitting over there with their kids with Stasics or mini bikes or whatever, and now we
Right.
got more
Yeah.
racers.
And I tell people, lots of people, friends of mine, that don't ride or anything, and people I think might be interested, but I'm like, go grab a 6-pack of beer and a sandwich
Bring
or
a
whatever.
lawn chair.
Yeah,
Yep,
bring a lawn
lawn
chair
chair.
or whatever.
Yep.
But I start talking about what this racing is and how it works and stuff, and they're like, really? Like, and I'm like, you tell 90% of people what they say, I'm going to go race a hair scramble. They're like, a what?
Yeah.
They don't know what that is.
They look
Hair
at their
scramble.
hair
Right.
and they're like, "What's
Hair
a
s-
hair scramble?"
Yeah, I say off-road racing or
Right,
they don't
cross-country racing.
cross-country racing.
Yeah.
People don't really understand what that
No.
means.
Right.
But it's a really neat sport.
Yeah.
When you start, like a friend of mine told me about NASCAR. I've never watched it,
No.
and my buddy said if you watched it, you'd get hooked because of like the technical part.
Yeah.
It's so strategic.
Yeah.
He said there's so many little strategic. It's like a chess match.
No,
And
it's a team deal.
I said one of these days I'll check out NASCAR.
I'm a big NASCAR
Well-
fan.
Are you?
Yeah, I watch them all the time.
What's really cool about it, I think, is, and I've talked to some people that don't race, that maybe know their neighbor kid did or something like that. They come out to the track, and they have questions. And I'm like, just go talk to the riders. There isn't anybody in the pits that you couldn't walk up to and say, what kind of bike is that? And why are you riding that? Or, what happens when you do this? I mean, it's you get honest answers. They're down to earth. We've been down to earth people. They've been a great group of people. And everybody that comes in says the same thing, If you're having problems, you turn around and ask the guy that's parked beside you, hey, man, you got a spark plug? Yeah, here it is. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
It's been those kind of people that has made EROC what it is so far.
And that's another thing where we've been working on it. Like we mentioned earlier about how can we get a little bit better? Well, that's one thing we discussed this winter was our team row and our vendor row. We want to designate those at each track, and every fan or people that are spectating there can come down through there, and all those teams will be there. And like you said, walk up to any of them, and they'll
Oh yeah.
find out how to get on the team, and there's the questions.
Yeah. What is Moto Zealy?
Right.
Right.
People.
Right.
Yeah, what is that?
Yep.
Most
Yeah.
people might go, somebody from down in our area might go, what's Moto Zealy?
Yeah.
Well, they don't have any idea.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, Moto Zealy, AS, Beaver Creek, they'll all have a spot saved at each round
Yep.
to put their team there.
In the vendor road, that's awesome too for us. I
Yep.
mean, for the racers.
Yep.
I mean, most people carry spare stuff, but I went to a round and I was like, I just blanked out and forgot to get tear-offs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank God, somebody's there with
Right.
tons of
Right.
different brands of tear-offs or
Right.
whatever.
And we're working on that this year too. We've added another trailer for our T-shirts. We're going to have some event T-shirts and hats. We're going to throw some parts in there from the shop. We're going to put some tubes in there and some lubes and bolts and nuts.
Turn-offs.
True MX is going to have some supplies in there. I know Keith's working. I don't know what his shortages are right now and stuff, but we hope to have True MX goggles and tear-offs and maybe a few jerseys and some of his hats and things like that in there available for sale too for that guy like you that forgot, oh man, I walked out of the house without my goggles. You know what I mean? So we're building on that too. We're ramping that up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, give a shout out to Keith down there at True MX. I mean, last couple of years, I think we're going into our third year with Keith. He was the title sponsor before, and each year he gives every champion a championship gear, and that's a one-off run.
Right.
That's not a shirt or pants he pulls off the shelf like the guy out in California bought. That is a one-off run. The EROC champions are the only ones that have that combination.
That's
design.
sweet.
Right.
So,
Yeah. he mocks something up, sends it over to us, and we look at it and go, can we change that or add this color? And he's like, yeah, and he sends it back, and then that's it. And he makes that for the champions.
That's it.
And that's it. You can't if you weren't a champion, you can't go buy that gear.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that goes a long way with people. I think, it just having something that's special and it's not cookie cutter. It's not just the same thing everybody else got.
Yeah.
I mean,
had a few people this year when they, they fill out a little form after they win the championship. They fill out a form and we gather them up and I send them off to Keith and looking through them. And there's a lot of number ones on there. And what they're doing is they're taking them, they're hanging them up in their garage.
Right.
It's a trophy.
Yeah.
The jersey becomes a trophy then.
Right.
yep.
So.
Yeah, a lot of people frame them.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, see that a lot.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to round 1, man.
Oh yeah.
It'll be here before we know it.
Right.
It's a couple weeks.
I could use a couple extra weeks in there to get everything else ready. It's like getting down
I
to
bet.
crunch
God.
time, pulling everything together. So.
Yeah, you think you're like, oh, we're 99% there, but that 1%, it's just like, I know, getting ready for anything, especially that magnitude of something like this. I mean, there's so many moving components and logistics.
Right. Right.
Insane, it's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
How many people do we move up and down the road when we go from place to place now? We've had the same crew. We're pretty lucky.
Yeah,
man.
we got to give them guys a shout out too. I mean, Keith and Jen,
Right.
My wife and my daughter taking the pictures and everything, and
Just the whole crew.
and Chase does more work. People have no idea what he does.
Yep.
I mean,
Teresa.
yeah, we wouldn't have a scoring system if it wouldn't be for Chase.
Backup score girls, Dana.
Yeah,
and
Dana and Megan. and
Megan.
Rory, our referee.
Rory.
Yeah.
Well, that's been the same crew.
Yeah. And
since-
we've added 2 more now. Whitney helped us before. Now
Right.
her husband Nick's coming on board this year
Right.
to help with transponders.
Yep.
It's just,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to do it without good people. I mean,
Yeah.
and they show up every round. We're bringing on 2 more announcers to help out with things too this year. You're going to jump in there and do a few things for us. So it's crazy how many people got their hands in it now. I mean,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
really.
it's just not 3 guys. What do we
Three-
call
you
it?
start out-
3 idiots with arrows.
Yeah, 3 guys with arrows.
3 idiots with arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I don't even know if we introduced, but Tom Coffey and Jeff Ricker, I mean, these guys run the Eastern Racing Off-Road Championship and wanted to get together and do a little podcast and discuss, the past and the present and the future. So we're here and it's coming. May 2nd, right? Crow Canyon.
Right.
What time we starting this year?
Same as last year.
Everything's the same.
Noon?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Big
Big
bikes
bikes are noon.
Big bikes are
Okay,
noon. But
okay, big bikes.
We'll be there way before that, Brad.
Well, you know me. I'm there at like 7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm there early.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes I don't leave you a choice. You got to bring the awards.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But awesome. Well,
Cool.
guess that's a wrap, right?
That's
That
it.
sounds good.
That was awesome.
Cool.